and welcome to what is my first video in a painfully long time thanks to the COVID-19 situation. Abhilasha behind the mask, by the way. How's everybody holding up? Now, I'm genuinely happy to be back on motorcycles, back in the open, back to work with this. Now, I know you've read the title, you know this is the Bajaj Dominar 250, but if I hadn't told you, could you have known that this is not the Dominar 400? Yes, my eagle-eyed friend, I know, you would. But then the Dominar 250 does have a lot of the 400 in it. Well, it's practically everything except the changes to the swing arm, the forks, the tires, and the engine, of course. The engine, right, a familiar story going on here. Like the Dominar 400 shares its engine with the 390 Duke, this does with the 250 Duke. And in a familiar way, the lower end of the engine, the crank, the gearbox have been left untouched, but the head has been designed by Bajaj Auto. Unlike the high-revving KTM engine for the Dominar 250, Bajaj has tweaked the engine for better low and mid-range torque band. And that does show. You can easily play on the throttle on and off in higher gears in city traffic without many complaints. But here are some facts. With slimmer forks, a box section swing arm, a smaller engine, well, all of these things have led to a weight loss of about 7 kilograms, but even so, the Dominar 250 weighs in at 180 kilograms, and that is not exactly light. My Sport Class 250 weighs in 10 kilograms less than that. The Suzuki Gixxer 250 weighs 24 kilograms less than that. But the engine is delightfully refined and in every gear. It will sit comfortably at 80 to 100 kmph, and these are the numbers you want to do while you're long distance riding, and the engine should feel stress-free. It'll do 120 to 130 and above comfortably, but it takes a while though compared to its competition like the Duke 250 or the Gixxer 250. However, the engine is super smooth. Vibrations are just not a problem. It's only when you go past 130, 137, past 8,000 RPM when some vibrations kick in, and they are just not worth complaining about. And it is super composed at low speeds. You could do 40 kmph in 6th gear and pick it up from there if you like. That's because of the changes Bajaj have made to the engine. A lower compression ratio translates to the engine undergoing less stress, which makes for a more relaxed ride as there's more torque available at lower RPMs. But this, combined with the weight it has to pull, it's not the quickest in the segment. However, the Dominar 250 never really demanded to be a racer. It isn't meant for carving corners, and they never said it was. It's meant for comfort, and comfortable it is. The riding stance is pretty relaxed. The handlebars are quite wide, they have ample height in them, you're very slightly leaning forwards. The foot pegs are not very rear set. Seat height, not very high at 800 mm, so if you're 5.5 like me or even lesser, you'll be just fine. Speaking of the weight of the motorcycle, you only feel it at creepy crawly speeds in very slow moving traffic or pulling in and out of parking, for example, but that's it. Once you pick up pace, the weight is pretty much gone. You feel quite light on the handlebar. It is swift to switch directions but does not really encourage the rider to indulge into knee downs. But if I'm honest, I don't really want to do that on this motorcycle. The suspension is set on the softer side. While the forks are slimmer, they are upside down. Point is, it definitely offers more comfort than its competition. The brakes are good, the ABS is responsive, although I would have welcomed a bit more bite. But then the front disc is smaller by 20 mm. And the tires are MRF zappers, which are not radials. Something I usually bring up in the very beginning of my videos, but have pushed to now for this one, is design and styling. Well, that's because we already know what the Dominar 400 looks like. What I'm trying to say here is that in my mind, the Dominar 250 makes a strong looking quarter-litre motorcycle. Now, to sum it all up, the Dominar 250 may not be the quickest or the most agile. Given the weight, it will not be the most fuel efficient either. But then it is the second most affordable quarter-litre on sale in India currently. So much so that even the KTM 200 Duke is more expensive than this at 1.6 lakh ex-showroom Delhi. Now this is a great number given the comfort it offers. You can spend hours on the saddle, the also accessible and easy power band, which will make it a great buy for first-time motorcycle buyers or those who've had a 150cc and wish to upgrade to a bigger bike and indulge in long-distance riding. So the 2020 Bajaj Dominar 250, I reckon, is a fantastic value for money proposition. Now before we end, I've got to bring this up. Apparently these days, looking like this on a two-wheeler is okay, but if you're wearing a helmet and not a mask, that's not okay. Well, wearing a mask is important, but so is wearing a helmet. So if you're going to ride a two-wheeler, helmet, head, helmet. It's really that simple. Like this video, so hit like, share with your friends, and if you really do like the video, subscribe to our channel. Thank you ever so much for watching. Mike, dena abhi? But if I hadn't told you, did you? Okay, I'm gonna take it from the back. Ye wala done hai, haan. Okay, my mistake. God, what's wrong with me? That was distracted me. There are, but the suspension is set on the. The suspension is set on the softer side. While the forks are slimmer, they are. Oh my god, go away. Okay, that's not right. God. Nahi hoga. Seriously.